Welcome to a weekend reading vlog. So I've decided on this channel I want to do more long form content that's deep dives and self-help books that are a little more serious, but I also want to have a little more casual, come hang out with me and read books that I'm actually enjoying kind of situation. And so that's what this is going to be. So let me tell you what books I'm currently reading. Last night I finished Water Moon, and this book just came out this week. And this is a really, I would call it a cozy fantasy. It might be my first cozy fantasy I've ever read. It takes place in Tokyo, but also in this magical world. And the main character works at a tea shop, and she harvests choices that people make and regrets. And one day her father goes missing, and this mysterious person shows up at her doorstep from the outside world, and together they go try to find her dad. And this book was just so lush and magical, and the world building was truly, it was like whimsical and really lovely. And like the cover of this book, one, is absolutely amazing. Two, found out you can make a little paper boat with it. I don't buy a lot of books, but it's kind of almost convincing me to buy it because it's so cool. But anyways, I think this cover is a perfect representation of the vibes of this book. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought the writing was really beautiful. I did think it kind of got a little repetitive and maybe could have been cut a little shorter. I didn't get bored at any point, but I was like, okay, this again. But I don't know. Maybe I was being too nitpicky. I'm also not totally sure how I feel about the ending. I'm still up in the air on my opinions of it, but overall, really liked it, would recommend. And then this morning, I think I'm gonna pick up Dance of Lies. And this is a fantasy book that's coming out later this year, I think in June. So like, yes, I should wait to read it, but I'm in such a mood to read fantasy right now, and this is kind of the only fantasy book I have my hands on at the moment, and I'm really looking forward to it, and this cover is just gorgeous, so I think I'm just gonna do it. It is about this girl who is a dancer, and she's employed by the king to be a spy, and then things happen. That's what I know about it so far, so I'm very excited to read that. I'm also listening to an audiobook, Some People Need Killing, and this is a journalistic look. The author is a journalist, and she's absolutely incredible. And it's about the war on drugs in the Philippines and how the state sanctioned killings of anyone who has been accused of using drugs ever in their lifetime. It's really heartbreaking and horrible. And the victims of this weren't just adults, they were also children. Again, this author is incredible. Her journalism is impeccable, and she's doing really, really important work. And this book is really, really important. It is hard to read because it is so horrifying. So I'm taking my time with that one. Again, it's on audiobook. I think I'm about 30% of the way through it. Highly recommend. Again, it's very important, very hard to read, but yeah, it's gonna be probably favorite of the year. But for now, I think I'm going to, oh my God. I think I'm going to drink my tea, start this Dance of Lies book, go on a walk, and then take the day from there. A great time with Dance of Lies. I am 15% of the way through, and so it's about this girl who's a dancer, and she was the king's favorite dancer. They were really close, and then one day she gets accused of a lord's murder, and there's no way she could have done it because she was with the king, but the king is fine with her being thrown into prison for 2 years. And then one day he randomly takes her out, and he's like, in exchange for your freedom, I'm going to let you be a spy for me at this event that happens every year where all the kingdoms get together. And so she agrees because she wants her freedom. What I really appreciate about this book is that the author started out with an author's note that said, the author lives with chronic illness, and she wanted to make a fantasy book for people who have experienced that same thing, showing that a hero in a fantasy story doesn't need to be this like strong fighter kind of persona, that someone who has a fragile body or is going through chronic pain or illness of some kind can be a hero as well. And I absolutely love that. There's also a page of trigger warnings, which always love. So yeah, I'm just really liking it. I think the world building's really good. The characters are really intriguing. I'm rooting for the main character, which doesn't always happen in fantasy, because sometimes they're either written so stupidly in order to have this character arc of them growing later on, which usually never makes sense. Usually in fantasy books, if the character starts off as stupid, they'll just randomly become smart one day and call it character growth, which doesn't make sense. Or they're just stupid the whole time and it's really frustrating to read. But this one, I like her because she's just focused on survival. And she has a lot of trauma. But she's just trying to survive. Yeah, I'm really, really liking it. This is a book I can see myself reading in like a day or two. So I'm very excited about that. I do fear I was right about this book, because now I am 50% of the way through and I'm having a hard time putting it down. So this might be a very boring vlog because I'm just gonna keep reading this book because I'm really, really enjoying it. It is the perfect blend that I like in fantasy. And it's not even, the fantasy is not heavy at all. Like there's some myths, but there's not magic at all, at least so far. And I don't really expect there to be, which I kind of like. It's really nice to just be like in a really political setting and just trying to figure out what everyone wants and what they're doing. And it's really fun. That's my favorite kind of thing in fantasy books. Also, I have a feeling there's going to be a love triangle. Now, some of you are going to hear that and be like, dear God, no. Me, on the other hand, I'm always for a love triangle. I just think it adds so much drama to a situation. And I hate books that are like soulmate love, because I think it's so cheap and boring. And if they're soulmates, then they're always going to find like their way back to each other and they're meant to be blah, blah, blah. So there's never any like real conflict. Where if it's just a mess, nothing's set in stone. And that makes it so much more exciting. And I love it. Update, it's dark now. Oops. I'm like 62% of the way in my book now. Still haven't been able to stop reading it. I'm loving it. I love the political intrigue and all of the strategizing. It's just really interesting, well done. I can't get enough of it. Really, really can't. Now, I'm gonna take a little break because it is the last day of TikTok. And oh, this lighting, well, okay. Let's go here. Better. It is the last day of TikTok in the US. I live in Germany, so the apps, TikTok is not going away for me. But I am losing like 96% of my audience, so it is essentially pointless. So I think I'm gonna go on a TikTok live on the last day just to hang out with people, say hi, and say goodbye. There's like a sauna parked on my street. Like it's very confused. Everyone. I stayed up way too late doom scrolling on TikTok last night, so I am up later than usual. Also found out that, I thought I was safe from the TikTok ban. Apparently not. Even though my account number is in German, my Apple Store is German. Somehow they found me. So that's a little jarring, but it's fine. In good news, I finished my book last night, because I could not stop reading it. Did I read it all in a day? I think I did. Absolutely loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. it's just my favorite type of fantasy. It had everything I love in it. But at the end of the day, I just really loved the characters so much. Again, I thought the main character was done well. I think I really, really loved how the author portrayed chronic illness, but also I think her portrayal of PTSD as someone with PTSD was so incredibly good. It was really great to see, and it was amazing. But yeah, what really drew me into the story were the characters. I thought they were complex and interesting, charismatic, and one of the characters, I'm not gonna say who they are. It's not a spoiler, but I think it's good to just kind of leave it open. So perfect. Just every time he was on the page, just like stole the scene. So funny, so charismatic, so layered. My favorite type of character. We'll see. There's definitely set up for a book 2. I'm interested to see where that goes, because where the story ended, obviously a cliffhanger, but where the story ended, I'm not sure I liked one of the tropes it was moving forward with. Not my favorite in fantasy, so we'll see how that goes, but I love this book so much that I trust the author to do an okay job with it. This morning, I think like reading that book really inspired me to do my own writing, which is exactly what I actually wanted with that book, because I wanted to get back into my own writing. It has done that for me. So I'm about, I think 30,000 pages, 30,000 words into a book right now, writing. So it has been honestly probably 5 months since I touched it. So I'm gonna go back and reread everything I've written so far, maybe make some changes to prepare myself to write more. I haven't had my tea yet, so I can't talk straight. So yeah, I think that's the plan so far. So as you saw, I ended up getting tea with a friend and I'm back home. And I think the rest of the day I'm going to be spending it editing and writing. So I'm not gonna be doing any reading and writing and like editing. I don't know what I'm gonna update you on. I'm working on a book. I guess that's something I could update you on. I'm writing a fantasy book. I've been writing and rewriting this book since I was 16. And this is the year I want to like finish it, and get it to a place where I can start querying agents. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm gonna focus on that tonight. So not any more updates on the reading end, so I think I'm gonna end the vlog here. But I think it was a successful, a lovely weekend. Let me know if you enjoyed this, if you found this interesting, and I'll do it again.